hello, my dear friends, so far unknown in this world of perfume and beauty. And my name is Violet von Art, and I want to speak with you or to you about a perfume today and quite a line of perfume. I'm living in Germany and yeah, I just start. um, I'm a huge parfum lover. I will may not say, but of course, I love scents, and to be honest, since my childhood. I liked that my grandmother, for example, had different perfumes, rather simple one in the old times. I can remember, for example, that my grandmother uh, wore an Eau de Toilette Tosca, and the name or the advertising line in Germany was Mit Tosca kam die Zärtlichkeit. With Tosca came the tenderness. Or she had Lavendel perfume. Yes, Uralt Lavendel was the name. And yeah, these impressions gave me a strong thing in my childhood. And I connected all these perfumes, this smell, this concrete smells with with the house of my grandmother. And also other scents were always important to me, and I liked it very much. Also, the other grandfather, for example, lived in a little village in Thuringia, and he had also animals, and all the smells there were wonderful to me. No? Because I grew up in the city, and there also was nature, of course, because we lived a bit on the surrounding of Berlin, as not in the center, not quite in the center, and so we had a lot of green too, also forest, but also very much nature, and I played a lot of my time as a child in nature with all the other kids. And yes, and now to the perfume I want to speak today about to you. In the time between Christmas and New Year, I had, like you maybe, quite a lot of time, a bit also to surf in the evening around. And I discovered on the Chanel site, internet site, a new perfume line which was not known so far to me, because my last Chanel parfum was some years ago that I bought one, and one I got as a present from my mother. I will maybe in a later video talk about it. Yes, and here I saw on the website, wow, a new line. I don't know it so far. And it was named, as you may of course heard, Les Eaux de Chanel. And I was rather interested and clicked me through and saw, that 6 scents are part of this line. And I saw that the perfume most important designer, or the leading designer, perfume designer with Chanel, is now Olivia Polch. He's the son of Jacques Polch, who run the smelling business from Chopin for, if I remember quite right, it was 36 years, yeah, 36 or 7 years, also a long period of time in which this Jacques Polch developed wonderful smells for the House of Chanel. And now, obviously, since 2015 is Olivia Polch on the run. And as I could learn in a lot of articles, I read that he is doing his matter well, and he developed since then not only this line of this Les Eaux de Chanel, but also some exclusives, some new exclusives to the line, to this line of Chanel. Yes, and now I saw the 6, and the idea is interesting because these 6 scents in the Les Eaux de Chanel line have city names. And there is, for example, Paris Venise, Paris as a second, maybe Paris Biarritz, Paris Deauville, Paris Edinburgh, Paris, and what is missing? Paris Riviera. And these 6 scents, as I said, are honored to or connected with a certain city who or which were important to Coco Chanel, to Madame Chanel, or Mademoiselle Chanel. Ne? And in a certain way, somewhere as Deauville was important to the business of Mademoiselle Chanel, because it was a location of the first shop of Chanel, which she opened there, I think, if I'm not wrong, maybe 1910. And it was also already with the help of Boy Capel, who was her lover. And he supported her always, and also to open this shop. And so it is always a important city for Mademoiselle Chanel, who is made portrait in this special perfume always. And yes, and I was interested, and you can, if you are interested, also find a little film of the House of Chanel about the certain smells. This is a film mostly, as I can remember, maybe so 30 till 45 seconds. As a very short film, but it gives a very nice impression of the character of the scent which we can expect. And I saw these little films and thought, oh, it's irgendwie quite charming. It sounds quite charming, because it was a bit like a story, like a little fairy tale which you see there. And it's always a bit as it were in the mist, so the atmosphere. Also, yeah. And I was especially interested, as I heard also a lot of other influencers. I thought at home that maybe the Venice scent I would like the most. But that was only my thinking. And as you know, if you go to the shop, then it's a total different thing to smell the perfumes as you thought at home this scent will be. Yes. and I was so much interested. Yeah, and indeed, after I went to a boutique in the second week of January, also only some days before, yeah, I liked indeed the smell of Paris Venice the most. Yeah, and but also the other smells or perfumes were very, very charming. And the interesting thing is, all the 6 bottles are in a very modest way. Are they packed? And you may saw these things. It's such a cute little bottle, very smart. Ja. Und hier ist my Paris Venice in the 50 ml Ausgabe. And you can either buy the 50 ml for 98 euro or the larger bottle, the larger one, for 125 milliliter, and they cost in that case 143, I think, euro. And in dollar it will be yeah, a certain, the same range or the distance of the price. Yes, and you don't see it in that light yet so directly, but it has a charming, also the perfume has a charming color of, maybe I would say, peachy, rosé, light color. And all these other smells have a different change of other color, all a bit pastelic, yeah, pastel colors. Rosé, green, Edinburgh is a bit greener as Deauville also green, Biarritz very clear, but maybe with a little aspect of yellow, and so on. And Paris, I smelled it already. They very charming also perfume, and it's rosé, of course, and so very aesthetic appearance, I would like to say, these scents. Yes, and before we come to the smell itself, I can tell that it's really, all the 6 scents are very fresh and light, but very charming. So spritzy a bit, and not such a strong, concrete scent as, for example, the exclusives of the line, but so very fresh spring, summer scents, yeah, which are very light, of course. It's a EDT, and some people say it's maybe still lighter, no? And the duration is also not so quite long, some hours. But the idea from Chanel is also that you spritz it around a bit. Also the diffuser is very open to different sides, and it is meant, yeah, that you use it, as I heard, also in larger amounts to be in the scent itself. Yeah, and I was also very interested in this scent because I know Venice, Paris too. Paris is always the first city who is mentioned, and the second is the city which is the theme of this, each, also of the special bottle. And here is it Venice, ja, also beginning from Paris, always the history of Mademoiselle Chanel. To make it maybe clear, no, that is the beginning always, and Chanel is traveling to a certain point, and here's it Venice. And Venice, as I may can tell you, um, was a really important city for Chanel, for Coco. Because, as I said earlier, she had in her early life this lover boy Capel from Great Britain, England. He was a very charming and a very rich person and very interesting man, of course. And he supported in all things and means Coco Chanel. And the tragic thing is that he died in the year of 1919 at a car accident. I saw also a very nice film which showed that. Yes, and he really died, this man, her so important lover and man and human being for Chanel. Also, yeah, he was dead and she was totally ready with the world. And yes, and this was a very difficult time for Coco Mademoiselle, of course. And who was a wonderful person then in her life. She had a good friend, Misia, called Misia, and she was a pianist, a musician, and she knew Coco Chanel very, very good, and she proposed to her and brought her and traveled with her and her husband, as I know, with Chanel to Venice to bring her in another mood, yeah, to bring her in another mood, to let her have other impressions. And this Misia was sure that Coco would love this city of Venice. And she was, of course, right. And Coco Chanel loved the city, the impression of the old Renaissance palaces and all the charming atmosphere, the places there, the cafes, the art museums. Yeah, she was inspired in very many ways. Also later for her jewelry, also ihren Schmuck, ne? Her jewelry. And she saw the symbol of the lion on the Marcus place. And this lion would be, or was in a way, because it was her astrological sign, was very important. And she saw this sign there, and it would be influences in her fashion, yeah, and her jewelry. Yeah, and she liked it very much. She met there a lot of artists and so on. And also later, Chanel traveled a lot to the city. Yeah? And this wonderful Olivier Polch, the young or younger, of course, the young generation of the Chanel perfume team, thought maybe about this connection of Chanel and Venice, and selected now this city as one of the important cities for Chanel, and tried to formulate now all that, the history of Coco and Chanel. But as I can imagine, also the atmosphere of this wonderful, wonderful city in this little um, flacon, in this liquid. Ne? At least is it only a liquid, a perfume, but if we can, yeah, connect with or have a feeling and experience with the smell, then is it quite more as a liquid. Ne? It's a perfume, it's a way, as a train maybe, we can use it like a train to go to a complete other feeling, destination, and yeah, experience. Ne? As we would travel for our own. Yes, and yeah, you can't smell it now, but but me, and I liked it from the beginning. No, I liked it from the beginning because it's really a very charming smell. Yeah, a female, I would think, as a very female, a very smooth, elegantly. One person I heard said it's as she smelled it, she thought, oh, it is like richness she is smelling. Ne? So smell rich people. I don't know if I have the same impression, but it's very nice. Also, and we can smell, also I can smell because I was already 1 week, once a time, some years ago in Venice. I can smell a bit magic, but also fresh aquatic tones in here. And very soon, or quite from the beginning, there start also multifaceted tones of iris, of neroli, also freshness and floral components, and also later vanilla, tonka bean, and it plays a bit, I feel, between the most different nuances hin und her, cross and criss, or you may understand what I mean. But it's really, yeah, it is not so simplistic smell, fresh but not simplistic. And it plays also with warmer tones. A bit secret is in the air, I would say. As it's a bit more a deeper nuance, or deeper nuances are playing there as the other ones maybe. Also of course, as we may say, Paris Biarritz is more purely fresh, no? Purely fresh, I think with orange and so on, and citrus notes and some green notes. And here is it more a bit deeper scent with secrets in it. And yeah, I have to say, I like it very much. And it remembers me indeed a bit of the atmosphere in Venice, where you have these old palaces, um, where the wonderful exhibition is from Guggenheim, no? Peggy Guggenheim. I was there in the house, and where she had also talks with this artists, and you have the wonderful flimmering water from the Adria part there, and yeah, the old palaces, this old charm, and all this connects in that smell. And the duration is also a bit longer than as with some of the other scents. I would say you can smell it for until 4 or 5 hours. No? And yeah, and if I may compare this perfume line, the character of this sense, with a art piece of art, yeah, or pieces of art, I would say it remembers or connects for me a bit with Impressionism. Also these paintings where you only see little dots if you are close by, you see only a diffuse thing and of color, no? Very pastel colors. And but if you go a bit away, you see the picture, you see the scene. And I think especially um, to paintings from Monet, from the wonderful French painter, of course, from Monet. And this atmosphere, in a way, catched the perfumer Olivier Porch, in my opinion. No? Um, it is, for me, I know also the scent of chance, this line from Chanel. I had some years ago 2 of them. I think first the yellow one, and later the green one, the fresher variant. And I have a bit the feeling this is the sense of the Eaux are a bit for me more classy, um, chic, fresh, and mm, unverwechselbar, we would say in German, than these other lines, and really a bit more exclusive, because these chance perfumes were a lot of people, no? And of course, I think this is a bit also more expensive, no? Also 50 milliliter for 98 euro is not really cheap, no, to say so. But yeah, I think you have with 50 milliliter only also a quality or a quantity from which you have long period of time the scent, no? And of course, the bottle of the 125 is per milliliter cheaper than this one, but it is first also more money. No? You have to pay more. And for testing, so to say, the smell, if you really like it, is it for impression maybe good to test first the more smaller bottle of 50 milliliter. And yeah, for me at least, is it so that I prefer to test different variants of perfumes and then decide maybe later to buy a large bottle, no, which is then my total love. And at this visit of the boutique was a very nice lady in the shop, and she showed me all the perfumes, as I said. And I liked also very much the Paris, the headquarter, if we can say, of Chanel, and also Coco Mademoiselle. And this smell, I'm looking forward to buy me maybe this smell in the next, at a certain point, the next months. First I have to collect money for that, project. And it was also a very nice scent, as I remember. Very charming, a little bit with a longer duration of the smell, as a longevity. Um, because the lady in the shop had no samples, furthermore, from the rose, also from the Paris version, but spritzed it for me on the paper around this smell, my Venice smell. And days later, I could smell this wonderful perfume on the paper, and therefore I think it's also very, very charming. So, to sum it up, I like this perfume very well. May you have the opportunity to go in a shop and to smell it, to smell these fragrances in a boutique, in a Chanel boutique, and make your own decision if you like it so much that you want to have it, or that it is only a little experience. And of course, all these 6 fragrances are unisex, they are announced so also from Chanel, as I read. But for me personally, I think a little bit more lean uh, Paris Venice, and Paris Riviera a bit more in a feminine way, to a feminine side, and the fresher ones, Paris Biarritz, Paris Deauville, and Paris Edinburgh, was a very interesting scent, by the way. Very dark green smelling a bit, very oceanic, by the way. But these 3 are more on the masculine side. Um, Although it is clear that a lot of women of us wear with joy masculine scents, more masculine announced scents or described scents, and vice versa. I can imagine that a lot of men like very much also as female described scents, no? And what does it mean, female, masculine? No? It's often not so clear that we have a certain preference, and is it really true that Iris is female? No, it's a kind of unusual description, but in our understanding, no, it can be maybe a bit parted. But yeah, as I said, no, wear what you want and what you like and what you love and what you remember, maybe, you know, on own experience or so. And also, for example, in the warmer spring and summer, it's wonderful, no, to wear a masculine perfume, maybe, or a fresh perfume. And yeah, no, we are open in all directions at the end for the beauty. Ne? We don't say neither a picture is female. Ne? We would never say such a thing. For example, Picasso is maybe masculine and Van Gogh feminine, or Monet. Ne? We would never say such a thing because it would be maybe stupid. And so, perfumes, yeah, that what you like is the right scent for you and the right perfume. And we haven't to small ourselves down to a limit. No? We can open up and choose what we want if we can pay it. No? So that's more a resistance thing, because for of course, no, I if I could do what I want, I would buy all 6 of them. But maybe if we could that, it would be not such a nice thing, because as we know, to wait is a special thing, ne? Because we have a Vorfreude in German, joy before, in waiting. I don't know the exact vocabulary, but yeah, sometimes if we have to wait, we enjoy much more if we finally can buy the thing. Yeah, sorry, I have a bit, yeah, sniff, Schnupfen. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to hear from you. Maybe if you like the video, I would be very happy if you comment something. Maybe also if you have already one of the Les Eaux de Chanel, and which one it is and what your impressions are. I would be delighted to hear of you, and I will read, of course, all of them and answer. Yeah, thank you very much so far for looking my first video, and I hope in future they will be better and my English will be better. And yes, also I'm looking forward to see you very soon. I will do new videos, new stuff, and then of course not only Chanel, because I have other perfumes which I really like. And yeah, we will hear and see us again. So far, yours, Violet.